Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So today's video is going to be all about the DIY cuts machine from Kaisercraft. So if you want to hear a little bit more about it and see how it works, then just stay tuned. So as I told you in my haul video the other week, I did buy this DIY cuts machine. I bought it from Spotlight with my 40% off. They're usually $99.95 and you can buy them from Kaisercraft stores or from Spotlight. So with my $40 off, it came down to 60 bucks. I did try and buy this at Kaisercraft Point Cook the week before because it was closing down, but unfortunately a lady beat me to the last one, so I didn't get one. And then Kaisercraft actually even had like a 30% off like 2 days later, and I couldn't get one then either. So I finally got hold of one at Spotlight. So I'll show you what you get when you pull it out of the box. I've obviously put mine together, but putting it together is as simple as plugging the handle in. It just doesn't come with the handle. It's very easy to put in. It's not complicated at all. The other things you get in here, you get, and I've used some of them, so please excuse the markings. You get a cutting plate times 2, you get an adapter plate, you get a base plate, and you get a metal adapter plate. That all comes in the box. What I've also got is actually it might only come with one cutting plate. Might only come with one, I don't remember. I also got, when I went to Kaisercraft Point Cook, I also grabbed these ones. This was before I even got the machine, but they had these out for 50% off. So I grabbed hold of those in readiness for when I got this. So what I'll do is I'll show you what it does. I'm gonna leave this adapter plate as far out of the way as I can so I don't accidentally use it. As you would have seen with this one's been well used already, and it's just kind of got a couple of marks on it. I just don't want to mark the other one just yet. So your DIY cuts machine can do two different things. The first thing it does is it cuts. That's why it's called a DIY cuts machine. And I wanted to get it, if you've seen my Cricut review, you know that I've had some issues with my Cricut, but the thing that I think the Cricut doesn't do that I kind of want it to is that there's so many different beautiful dies, and Kaisercraft make a lot of them, but so many beautiful dies in the world, and my Cricut doesn't quite cut that. So I wanted a die cutting machine as well, just to be able to do those sort of things. I did buy, and I think I got these at the Point Cook Kaisercraft when it was shutting down as well. I did buy a very simple, just nesting Hexagon die. I think this was 20 bucks. Yes, my Cricut can cut these, but I just wanted to play with the hexagons a little bit. So I'll show you how the machine works and what sort of sandwich combination I've come up with. So for my cutting sandwich, I'll just move this up and out of the way. I start off with my base plate on the bottom, and then if you have a look at the two plastic plates they give you, one of them is a lot thicker than the other. So you put C, which is your adapter plate and is the thickest, at the bottom. Then you get whatever you're trying to cut. So I've just got a piece of scrap paper, and I'm just going to tear it in half so that it sits in the middle here. The only downside to this machine, in my opinion, is that you can't cut like a big bit. If you wanted to cut out like, where are they? If you wanted to cut out like hexagons from a 12 by 12, you can't do that, which is disappointing. It's not the right word, but just it would be nice if there was a bigger version of this to be able to do that. So then I grab the die that I want to use. So we'll grab this hexagon, and I always put the die cutting downwards. Then you put your metal adapter plate and then your cutting plate. So there should be a cutting plate and an adapter plate, both of the plastic ones. The metal one is your choice, but I feel like it stops my plastic, and I've just realized I put it in the wrong place. And it has to be underneath the paper. It's very confusing, this whole sandwich. So hold on, let's go through that again, shall we? You've got your base plate, your adapter plate, your metal plate, your piece of paper that you're cutting, your die, and then your plastic. As you can see from my little plastic marks on here, I've made mistakes with this. It's just a matter of trying it until you get a result that you like. I'm just gonna cut that piece of paper again. It's annoying me. And that's all it is. It's just playing with it until you get whatever you think you need to have. Put that on there as well. Whoops. Then just make sure it all lines up. So just put that in there and then you just roll this through. It shouldn't be too hard to do. It shouldn't be too much of a struggle until you get to the die itself. And then you might have to put a bit of force there. But it's not, you shouldn't have to push too hard. And when you pull this off, come on, you can see we've got the die still fine. You made a bit of a mark on your thing, but you've got a perfectly cut hexagon. Very, very simple. You can do 2 or 3 of these at a time if you space them out on your plates. I like doing just one. I feel like it's a lot easier. And I just tend to use bits of scrap paper. All I've really used it for so far is just some foiling trials in my planner, just so I've got all my different colours. Haven't used it for very much, but I like it. I think it's cool to have. The other thing that this machine can do is it can emboss stuff, which is another reason why I really, really wanted it. My Cricut can emboss, but again, it doesn't do things like this. This is a embossing folder. This is also from Kaisercraft. You don't have to buy all Kaisercraft stuff. I just tend to, just because I've got easy access to it. So what you do with this one, very, very similar. You get your little piece of paper and you put it inside your embossing folder. Very, very simple. Then what you want to do is you want to make your sandwich again. Just move that over for a second. So you always start off with your base plate. That's the easiest way to go. Then what I do is I grab my cutting plate, I grab my metal adapter plate, and then I put the embossing folder, and then I grab my other cutting plate. So make that as my sandwich. This one has to be a bit thinner because that embossing folder is a little bit thicker than just the die. So you just put that in, same way as you did before, and it shouldn't be too hard to roll this through. If it is, it means you've got too much thickness on it. So put that off there, pull that out. Then what you're left with is this really gorgeous pattern in the paper, and you can use it either that way or you can use it that way. And it just adds a little bit. I'm really going to enjoy using this for cards. I don't know which way it's supposed to go. But I think this would look really cute with the Daydreamer range. I might make a couple of cards in that just in the next couple of weeks. The other thing you can do is you can add a bit of colour to it. Probably not when you're using a white piece of paper because it's not quite going to give you the right finish. But you can add colour to it just with some stamp pads or just colouring in with your Tombos either, or Copics or any kind of marker you want to use. Will give you a really nice finish as well. So that's sort of the sandwich recipes that I use to go through this. I'm loving this so far. Granted, I've only had it sort of 3 or 4 weeks. I just love sitting here and doing this. I don't know why. And I've got very few dies and embossing folders. Like I said, I think this one was $20 and you got the 5 dies that are there. And then I also got this embossing folder. I got this at Point Cook when it was shutting down. I think it was, might have been $10, but I got it for like $2 because it was 75% off. Everything else that you need except for the die and the embossing folder comes with it. You don't need to buy the extra pack. I just did because it was on sale. But you can use any brand of die cut you like, any kind of embossing folder. A lot of the stuff from Kaisercraft I know comes with like a stamp and die, so you could buy like a stamp that goes inside a die cut. You guys know what I mean. That would also give you some beautiful decorations, especially for cards. If you're a card maker, I think this is an awesome item to have. I am planning on doing like a Hexagon week in my planner, which is kind of where this came from. That'll make sense when I do it. It doesn't make sense to even me at the moment, but it is something that I will be using just as a bit of a can I do this week coming up very soon. But this is an extension of my crafting. Did I need it? No, I didn't. Did I want it? Yes, I did. And I really thought about it too, because it fills the hole that I don't think the Cricut can do. It's just not sometimes there's something to be said for an old-fashioned kind of machine that can just roll things through like this. So I'm really, really glad that I got it, and it's something that I'm going to be using a lot more of in the next few months, I hope. So that's it for my review on my DIY cuts machine. If you want to see me use this some more on my channel, please let me know down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And you can also contact me on any of my social medias there down below as well. Make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss any of my further videos, just in case I use this without telling you, it might pop up. So make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss anything. And I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you again really, really soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.